What's up, guys? All right, we're in this thing. We live, huh? No, no. Now it's on. No way, dude. All right, what's good, guys? Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Let me get stuff here in front of you in a sec. We got New York Open here in a hot sec. Nice little mitigation play during London on Dow. I'll go over a few things here. I think we got some activity. We got some nice things to do here. Oh wow, I gotta close out a lot of tabs. 1 second. Was recording some videos yesterday, so we had a whole bunch of things open here. All right, cool. Chat, what's good? Hola, hola. Let's go. What's up, Brandon, Diego, Maria Lisa? Oh my, let me let people know that we're live. I forgot to do that. Yeah, I know we started a little late. We went on a nice walk this morning, and this new coffee shop, it just took a little longer to get back. I think we're about to hit 2,000 members in here. Let's go. All right, give me a sec. We have hit 2,000 members in Tradetopia officially as of this moment. So sick. So shout out to you guys for sharing too, and just it's the whole thing's free anyways. We're live. 2K members stream. And to celebrate today's 2,000 member stream, we are going to kick off our stocks and crypto flipping challenge, but that will start a little bit later in this session. All right, let's get into it. Let me unpin this. All right. Pin to feed. All right. And I'm seeing you guys in here. You guys are dialed in. Had another mic scammer, though. I'm in. Yeah, it is what it is. With the people impersonating, and there's like, it's, the system honestly takes a lot of people out too. So a couple people sneak in here every couple days, but we're working on getting them off more and more. What day is it today? 22nd? Cool. We are. It's a special day. There's a lot going on today. We will be, Nance and I will be officially married today. Pretty cool, right? All right. 1 second, guys. So yesterday, right, we had gold sells. For me, it didn't quite mitigate, but it was a decent reaction. And then it looks like that might have been all the market really wanted to give us. So, ended up taking an L on gold to kick off the week. Okay, that's basically ready. All right, so let me just go here. Let me share my screen. All right. Let's see. Am I on this thing? Yeah, there we go. Cool. All right. Now we can look at some stuff here. Huh? Oh, really? Oh, okay. All right, live chat. You guys got everything there. Live chat, leaderboard, summary, all that good stuff. Sweet. All right, that's ready. All right, cool. Congrats. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. That was the most nonchalant stance. What you mean? Oh, got to break even? Oh, nice. Cool. Congrats. Being married is rad. I would agree. I will agree in a couple hours once I can say that. All right. Thank you guys. We appreciate the love. Morning, everybody, for being on time and being patient. Yeah. So, all right, cool. Let's dive in there. So we had a nice reaction on Dow in the morning or for London session. So those of you that wanted to take this, congrats. If you made the most out of it. With these types of setups, taking your exits at imbalance and structure are always key. I wouldn't have taken this anyways because we do have NASDAQ over here, which is a bit slower to work its way down to these levels. So I wouldn't have taken this position. As a matter of fact, I think there's still another setup in here. So we can actually wait for this. Maybe either here. This might happen today. So I actually want to dive into this over here. And this is where we can see on Friday. See a nice sell-off here. Right there. All right. And then now we wait. So doesn't seem like we've gotten here yet. Gotten close, but not quite. So I do like a sell over here as well. All right, like right there. So this would be taking out the London session low for a short. Now, buys make more sense because NASDAQ's already trading way up here, so it's just having a harder time to work its way down. That's why I like buy setups on NASDAQ, whereas sells make more sense, in my opinion, for Dow Jones. Now, Dow over here, we already had our mitigation. Whoa. Had our thing going on right there. So this already happened. This was the sell from Friday. If you guys caught this with me, this took a while, man. This took forever. It was a grind. It was a grind to be right here. Said, I can't believe you're here with us today. Why? I'm alive. We alive? So I like and then this is such a good exit. Took out liquidity as we talked about, and then from here everything was ready to roll, and Nas longs, S&P, everything ripped from there. Today we're doing the what do you call it?
Signing the marriage license.
Yeah, the marriage license. Signing it, and then wedding in what 10 days? 11? Something like that. Next Friday. All right, so the shorts on Dow would be chill. I'd be down. And that would be like right over here. This is where I'm looking at for shorts. So we have, some of these highs, take out liquidity, and then we clearly have an imbalance over here. So if we zoom in a little bit more, let's say we want to work our way back to, this is like end of day New York session on Friday. We kind of created a nice little high right there. So we see it start to pick up momentum here, stall out a little bit, one last push, and then it drops. But this here where it starts to pick up this last bit of strength and it clears this high, I'm going to really look for the short in here. And then if we do have an aggressive reaction, then I would look for reversals. Right over here. Yeah, what's good, Corey? Adriana, what's up, everybody? Smokey. I definitely won't be live day of the wedding. So next week, I think Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we won't have any streams. So to end next week, yeah, there'll be like 3 days I'm not on here. Maybe Wednesday. I'm not sure yet. Probably not, though. All right, so with New York Open, we're the classic market going in opposite directions to kick things off. Seeing NASDAQ pick up more momentum to the upside first. It looks like Dow might actually keep running though with it. Let's see how this goes. But even then, this is setting up no live wedding. Nah, I don't think so. No wedding stream. I'm not that kind of streamer. Not the lifestyle streamer. Maybe someone will. So yeah, pretty honestly, pretty mellow open. What I really want to dive into regarding like the movement so far is crypto. Crypto actually is setting up perfectly for our challenge. Ideally, it stays like this. So biggest drops on the day, we have a ski mask dog. This is a meme coin on the base network, which is down like 14%. It was actually down even more. So this one to make an easy 50% or more on. So that one's an easy come up for our challenge, our flipping challenge. Honestly, a ton of these. There's if we don't want to go to the meme coin routes, there's a couple other bigger crypto like TIA here, virtual. I think we're gonna start our challenge off with virtual. But there's a variety. I mean, it could be many. This one would be just an easy growth. Just back up to here would put us at 27%. If we go with something like, honestly, I think we got to start it off with dog though. Dog is just an easy one to catch a quick 25%. Work our way up to 40, 50%. It wouldn't take too much time either. But honestly, for the sake of speed, I think ski mask is going to have to be the one. The issue is it's not that easy to get. Well, no, it is. I mean, you can just get it on base. So anyways, I'll dive into that stuff in a little bit. But yeah, really red day for the markets overall, including Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a big spike down here. Huge move to the downside, which should be of no surprise to anybody, right? We talked about the market playing into these imbalances over here. Actually, this specifically is what I had marked up somewhere. So playing into here, maybe we go lower, maybe not. This kind of looking like a shakeout setup. So might see another drop. But yeah, Bitcoin now rebalancing very nicely, where we saw this huge sell-off happen on the 9th of September as well. And but yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a little perspective. Now, as we're starting to see these indices open up more and more money funnel through to here, we saw Dow push way down into this area. I think we could go even lower still. Dow Jones has this sell-off from here. This was on Thursday. So Thursday we had a spike down with more of an imbalance. And then last Wednesday as well, which was CPI, FOMC. So we still have some pretty big zones. So I wouldn't be totally shocked if Dow wants to work its way all the way back down to these FOMC levels at some point in time. We have on Thursday where we worked our way down into creating an imbalance as well. So I just wouldn't be shocked if we keep going lower than this. I'll place an alert here just to kind of keep my eyes on that. Now, since we're seeing such a different pace of momentum for the market here, we just saw, for example, Dow clear some of this resistance, trade all the way up to this area where we kind of are making equal highs over here, but we do take out a couple hours worth of retail sellers. So we might be able to just keep continuing this sell-off with Dow right here. I'm willing to approach this with a little less risk just because of the potential liquidity captures there. What's that? Okay, so we just broke below here. So I am open to shorting out of here with Dow, especially if we can kind of continue to sustain this bearish trend. I'm definitely open to it. We're starting to see NASDAQ as well start to short out of these areas up here. Now, NASDAQ isn't my first choice for selling at the moment, just because it's been very bullish. Dow with a lot more, it's just bless you, it's just leaning. That's Nancy sneezing, so we know that's good luck. Which was wild, right? Friday's Dow short after the sneeze, and we were a point away from getting stopped out break in profits, and then it just melted from that sneeze. Was classic. But this, yeah, I prefer shorts on Dow. Like, it looks like we're holding this much better. NQ not quite done making its move. I wonder if we go for Friday's highs. So this is the high from the week is right here. So here we have Asian highs, and here we have New York highs. So mindful of the market getting beyond these levels. I wonder if NASDAQ takes out these session highs, and then if that's going to lead us into maybe some alignment where the market reverses together. Maybe. I'm open to it. I'm ready for shorts. So if we do get into this position, then I'm in. Well, no, we'll do what we got to do over here. So let's see here. Oh, and something cool for those of you that are, let's say, trading with Top Step. For your risk settings, they now have, you can position, so you could create profit brackets, the OCO brackets, and now you can have different ones. I'll probably have to do that in a different video so I don't confuse anybody right now. But you're just getting more opportunity now to do quite a bit more regarding your trading with Top Step. So it's pretty cool to see. Like, they're adding a lot of cool features. But all right, yeah. So right now, this is kind of be the first zone that I'm willing to take a little stab at. Would be a short with Dow if we work our way back up to 46,400 and maybe like 70-ish, right around here. Yeah, take a little short out of this zone. See how much further down we could take it. It'll depend. We might get down there, maybe not. Right now, for example, NASDAQ worked its way up to this just price action. To me, this wasn't anything really worth shorting. And then taking a look at S&P. S&P is not really making too many aggressive movement either. It's got a lot of liquidity from Asian session that it can target still, and from last week's New York highs. So yeah, I'm not really in a rush to take anything here with NASDAQ or Dow. So in the meantime, let's go take a look at a couple other things, see what else the market wants to give us. And then if there's not a lot going on, then we might dive into the portfolio stuff a little bit more quickly. So we had no trades that we were looking for with Australian. We talked about how this one has been significantly bearish and how shorting might be better. This might be better suited for shorts than longs. And selling Australian up here looks clean to me. So for us to get an opportunity up here, we could use the replay tool and look at FOMC's price action. So if we look at how everything rolled around here, here was FOMC interest rates being announced. Market started to pump from over here, made its move to the upside. It did come back up relatively quickly. I don't think this is a mitigation, though. This kind of like was before structure really got to put itself in place. And I think we more than anything just kind of create more liquidity. So I think we could come back to this level in the future. And depending on how the rest of the majors look, how structure looks, might be looking for a short here in the future. It's just going to depend fully on like kind of what everything else is doing, because we may have other majors that are just more bearish, and it might take its time to get up to here. So we'll see here. But we have Australian doing its thing. We got the pound as well that's been pushing further and further down. We haven't taken any positions for longs here or anything like that because of how they look. So this is something that I teach all the time, which is you may have your signature setup in some sort of currency pair or any sort of asset, but if there's a strongly correlated pair, the other one might be more suitable, right? It might be better positioned. It might be lagging behind. So sometimes people take losses on certain trades because they're just not aware that there's something that's correlated that is better positioned. So pound, not really one for me to take yet. And then CAD futures is holding pretty strongly for the buys that we've been talking about for a while. So it's taking its sweet time to get over here. This was after Thursday. So this was CPI. CPI from about 12 days ago or so, 11 days ago. So this, to me, is still a valid setup. So let's dive into this here. All right. So we have today's setups. Let me just put the date here, September 22nd. CAD. All right. So this could still be an option, about a 50% pullback right now. You have Euro as well, still sitting on this idea. The short, I think, is less likely. Australian looks a lot more bearish. So I'd probably end up selling. As of right now, it looks like more Australian than I would Euro. Let's see. Let me just double check these things here. Make sure I got alerts set. All right, cool. And then the long on Euro looks less likely than CAD as well. So it's kind of somewhere in between. If you notice, right, CAD futures is trading above or right below a 50% pullback. Euro is already a bit further back anyways. So it could be, this is an option. As of right now, CAD would be more likely, but that can also definitely change. So Euro, we got the charts here. All right, and then we look at the yen. So for example, the yen has been trading down here for some time. I'm definitely open-minded to shorting the yen here. Big spike up. We didn't get anywhere close. So this could be the beginning of, honestly, the beginning of some pretty nice shorts on the yen. So we've been squeezing for some time. If we work our way back to here, we may get a pretty strong sell-off, and especially depending on how the lows look. So I'm curious right now. I'm pretty curious on what we could get over here. So I'll share this one here. Yeah, the shorts look solid. All right, yen. And then we have, and for those of you who don't understand the setup, we have liquidity capture. This pushes us way, way above a lot of liquidity, trading into other inefficiencies. After that's done, the market just bleeds out, and it's been very bearish, confirming bearish structure here on the 1 hour. And then this takes us to NZD. NZD, very good case for shorts as well, trading way down here. So there's just a lot of options right now. There's a lot of things that look very similar, and it's just going to be a matter of time. So, being patient goes a long way with these ideas. I think the longs are almost ready, but they're not quite there yet. So for just something, whether it's going to be the Swiss franc, which I don't think it's going to be the Swiss franc. This is already trading well below 618, so it's been trading pretty bearish. Maybe this has something better for sells in the future, but right now, nah, I think I'm good on this. So I have a couple of those ideas that I sent out your way, guys. Yeah, and with that being said, the yesterday's gold setup, this is what I had. The market mitigated, or it rejected this area. Maybe I had my long position drawn up incorrectly or something, which we can look at. But we had a nice rejection out of here, and then played out actually like perfectly from our entry. And then so it shorted about 120 pips, and then it extended. Whereas based on how I had it marked up, I had a well over 150 pip move on here. I think it was like 180. So I had it here as the move to the upside. And then, so I had this marked up as 180 pips. So when we didn't reject that amount, I just kept my trade running. So we did see a nice reversal out of here. Got a nice drop. 120 pips. But so I just kept it up and running. But apparently it was not enough. And honestly, thinking about it now, I get it, because this was FOMC's price action. So if let's say we would have looked at like the majors, put those in consideration, there's just so many setups. If it was regarding the dollar, that could just keep pushing higher, but it wasn't dollar based. Like the news event was dollar based, because all of these that spike to the upside had to do with the dollar, and then gold got to our price point during Asian session. So Asian and then London session related volume, no, mostly Asian session related volume, drove this higher. Okay, so keeping that in mind, that makes sense. This was a dollar-based news event. So to mitigate here, seeing an exchange of money should have been a dollar-based news event, or just volume-driven during those times. That could have been a warning. So you guys see how I'm putting some pieces together on, okay, why would this trade not work out, as most of them do? And so that's theory. I can put that into a bit more practice, some back testing related to the timing of mitigations. But in my observation, if you have a dollar-based, movement like this, like something that causes, a massive spike up or down, usually it's the same type of, not the same news event, but should be dollar-based, high impact events, or having volume during those hours makes the most sense. So, all right, that would have been something to keep in mind. But anyways, took the L, had to. Okay, interesting. So we got the drop on Dow, right? We were trading below the previous structure. We traded down to we traded so let me zoom out a little bit here. We traded all the way down to this imbalance like I talked about. And then now we're pretty quick to work our way back up here. So the question is, to short or not to short? To short or not to short? I am down to sell Dow Jones if NASDAQ clears these highs. If we get NASDAQ up here, I'm down to take a short at half risk. So I'm going to be ready in case it does. But if NASDAQ doesn't take out those highs and then it's here in zone, then I'm going to stay out. So we're in the zone now. NASDAQ is still kind of chilling here. I could see NASDAQ want to push further and clear out this liquidity, and that might drive Dow Jones higher. Entonces, chicos, a mí me gustaría vender Dow, pero solo si NASDAQ elimina liquidez aquí arriba, los altos de estas sesiones. Por ahora no está ahí todavía, entonces voy a tener un poco de calma, voy a tener paciencia. Si llegamos por aquí, entonces sí disparo, pero si no, entonces pues ya no se puede hacer nada. So NQ still not quite there. So I'm chilling. Worst case, we still work our way over to here. You still have this up here. Remember that. So let's see. Maybe Dow gives us a different sell. Because you do have... This is true. We do have this move right there. Here we see during London, a nice little pump. Takes out this resistance consolidation. And then makes another drop. So could be seeing the short from this little pump. Right there. A downside to this move though is we basically play right into the highs up here. But it would make sense if we see NASDAQ start clearing out these highs. Let's see where that takes us. And then S&P also kind of, chilling. So look, we avoided a loss here. Did not take this. So well done. Patience pays. Patience pays. And we got paid by not losing, right? So that's a win. And then still holding up here. So if we, for example, let's say we're in this zone now, but if these aren't swept, this liquidity isn't swept up here, I don't really see a point of taking any shorts. And looking at the way that the market's shifting, we might even be looking for buys later with this setup. So, because right now we saw this big push down and the market's flipping buys pretty quick. So let's see. Now Dow Jones is in this area, playing into this last pump here, from a couple hours back, about almost 4 hours ago. Trading up into here. Despite us trading this high, we're still not clearing these Tokyo highs. The question is, do we need it to clear New York's highs before looking for a short? That is the question right now. So let's see here. Keep this in mind. All right, so look at that. Now we're seeing Tokyo highs cleared. It's within the range. Very close to taking New York highs. Do you want to risk it? I don't think it's worth it. I think we wait and see how NASDAQ clears these highs. If you do want to short Dow, then maybe open up your stops just a bit more in case NASDAQ wants to clear New York highs as well. Yeah, that would be the only thing to keep in mind over here. It looks like it does want to short from here. Came back up real strong, basically making equal highs over here. Now that NASDAQ took out the highs, it looks like it's dropping. Look at that. Nice little drop off the rip. Decent little move we got going on here. I didn't take anything. Yeah, I didn't short anything here. I'm chilling. This might hold up. we'll see. I kind of want to see where the market's at once we clear out all of this liquidity. I don't see why it would leave this behind or anything. So this has, taken this out as well. Now, you guys noticed when during here, you saw another piece of some strong movement to the upside where you see the market clear the highs, then work its way down. So I'm open. Either way, the clearest, most abundantly clear setup is way up here for a short. We're starting to notice how Dow is still steadily pushing upwards more and more, finally clearing, from a couple hours back, some of this liquidity up here. NASDAQ has been obviously extremely bullish since the open, and it's kind of slowed down its progress after it cleared these Tokyo highs. So if we look at the movement here, if Dow stays bullish, then we might be better off just kind of waiting for a reversal here. So after we had New York Open started to push down, and then we stalled out a little bit, another push down, and then we see a reversal. So looking for buys somewhere in here could be a good opportunity later on as well. Kind of just depends on what everything's looking like. I know after this took out Tokyo highs, we're seeing NASDAQ pull back significantly. So I wonder if we get some sort of shakeout setup, but I'm not going to be looking to force a sell on NASDAQ right away, because for me, in order to take sells, I want to see us really fully clear the liquidity. So yes, we take out sellers. Anyone that started the week off selling is now more than likely got swept a decent amount. But if you took sells off of, let's say, the highs over here, retail stops are more than likely above New York highs up there. So I think for the market to push beyond this and then really start to set the tone for sells for the day makes much more sense if you're looking at overall how much more money would really be sitting. This is going to be max liquidations, would be up here. Yeah. So, okay. That's lining up. Let's see where we get to. But as of now, I still haven't taken a trade. Just kind of sitting on my hands. All right. With that being said, market's been continuing. That was a loss on gold. Silver. Didn't take anything on silver as we were looking at the correlation between gold and silver. Now, someone was looking at oil buys. Did you guys take these? I know some of you had these marked up. It's not quite here. The CLV. I needed this. Did anyone take this? I wasn't looking at the market. I was still on the walk. But the the long out of this, you guys had this marked up. I know I saw Paul Sung share this. I think I saw Nora have this one marked up as well. So yeah, we had a good rejection of this order block right here, right before the market just absolutely ripped. So seeing the market imbalance. Also, oil had a nice short over here as well during London session for my London session traders. So you had the sell to the buy, just beautiful. I'm open. I want to wait and see how oil continues, because we just might have a setup for longs again. So yeah, this is awesome. This right on the open of the last hour was just like tapped into the order block here and kind of these last sell-offs, and then market is gone. Okay. All right, so Dow's starting to do its thing, starting to drop a bit. I feel like we'll get one more push higher before we get the drop. Look at how NAS is kind of starting to hold up over here. If we start seeing NAS rally one more time, then I am open to shorting Dow, especially if Dow ends up like right over here somewhere. So this is starting to give us a possible play somewhere over here. So good patience, guys, on just waiting for the market to line up collectively and for us to kind of be in a good place to possibly sell, and just holding on for the right moment. So we clear these highs, we clear out quite a bit of liquidity here, get above a couple different areas, and then the market is starting to do its thing. So NASDAQ picking up some steam. This may end up being also another possibility if NASDAQ keeps pushing higher. This might be a shakeout too, where we clear liquidity, clear these highs. This lures in buyers, right? Activates buy stops, takes out sell limits or sell stops for sellers. If we start trading here, and then let's say New York NASDAQ is clearing liquidity by a landslide up here, and we're trading within this little range, I'm open to a short with the wider stop in case this is going to look like a shakeout here. So let's see what that would look like. Let's see, considering like a 40-point stop possibly. All right, so we're seeing NASDAQ pushing. Look at that. Just made equal highs on to New York. Previous New York highs. I think we're going to trade out of this imbalance. It's looking like something like this might be the play. Hello. She does sound like a Digimon sometimes. Little Pokemon. All right, looks like it's chopping. This wants to go higher. Where's S&P? S&P. Let's see if S&P wants to take out these Tokyo highs. Out here playing chess. So again, I have to see NASDAQ clear session highs first. So if it doesn't, then we'll go for this up here. Entonces lo que quiero ver, chicos, es que NASDAQ saque estos altos por aquí, capture liquidez y de ahí podamos tener oportunidades de ventas con DAO, que sea por aquí o sea quizás un poco más arriba. I don't know how many people here are Spanish dominant, but for those of you that are here, ¿dónde están los que más que todo entienden español? Me escriben aquí en el chat. All right, so here it's rebalancing right now, but NASDAQ's still just keeping liquidity. So I'm going to hold off. I think the better setup does look like it's going to be up here. And then this looks like it's going to be possibly like a 40-point stop or so. What's good, chat? Español, ambos. Spanglish, pero más español. Los dos. When waiting for the session highs and lows to clear indices, do you wait for it to happen on all three of the indices? It depends on the scenario. But, for example, the market's not really trading the same. Like, Dow is a completely just different setup. It didn't really set up the same way. Like, this is a mitigation setup. Whereas the rest of them don't really have a setup for a short. It could be maybe like a shakeout. So in this example, I'm keeping in mind, okay, do we have liquidity? Like, are there easy targets for smart money, which we have with the highs of the previous sessions that are just kind of sitting there. So those are definitely just easy money for the real players in the game. And that looks like it could set up for this little pump that we saw during Asian session here with Dow. Looks like it could all come together around the same time. I would understand if it didn't, and if it didn't want to stop here and then went for this one. I totally get that. Crypto's about to boom. Looks like it. Risk management. Sí, Diego. No entramos en esa venta originalmente. What's up, Smokey? DOI getting close to POI. Sell, maybe. Yeah, I'm just out. You guys are in the oil buys? Nice. All right, so we're seeing S&P start to get to the zone. NASDAQ here. Almost there. Let's see. All right, Dow making a move. Looks like it wants to clear here. Here we go. So Dow starting to push. Wow, I'm impressed. Nasdaq's just like chilling. Just big chilling. Holding up this resistance, building up sellers. If it stays like this, I mean, we might end up just having to wait all the way up to here. We'll see Dow now approaching this little pump that we saw during Asian session. Look at that. Nas losing steam again. What do you guys think? What are we going to get over here? What are we going to see here? Looking at, just for fundamental purposes, we have no dollar news today. So it's a very chill day. Let me refresh this just in case. Yeah, no dollar news today. This week is pretty mellow. Tomorrow, more of a London session. And then you have some dollar news events. So flash services, then Powell. So we'll have some fun tomorrow. Wednesday will be pretty chill. Thursday, we got GDP and unemployment claims. And then Friday, we have PCE price index. All right. So S&P looks like it's starting to pursue some of this price action up here. NASDAQ really holding it down. Lots of liquidity building up right in here. We haven't quite broken above these highs. So everything's kind of starting to get back into the same place. So like I mentioned, if we don't clear these highs, then I won't sell. So if Dow is over here, but NQ is here, then I'm not going to take any shorts. Yeah, we're going to see. So it's been a game of just patience. Patience, and then not allowing your desires to choose your setup. So as much as I'd like to be in the market, nothing yet. All right, shout out to you guys that took that oil buy. Good setups, guys. Entonces, chicos, no entro en ventas todavía con Dow. No hemos capturado liquidez con la sesión aquí de Nasdaq, entonces yo me quedo aquí afuera de esto. Parece que probablemente la entrada va a ser idealmente aquí arriba. Esta entrada aquí, creo que es lo que vamos a estar buscando para vender. So yeah, the more that we see this, the more it looks like it's lining up for the setup way up here. Yeah, NASDAQ is just building up liquidity quite a bit. And then the buy is setting up nicely over here as well. So, yeah, look, we already saw Dow take out London lows. NASDAQ has not even close. So either we get Dow gives us a mitigation play, and or we end up seeing NASDAQ give us a shakeout too. I could see both of these playing out. And then we clear these lows. And this could line up with a little mitigation plays here. Could see something like this. We'll see how everything lines up. It's just a matter of patience more than anything. Cool. All right, so while that's doing that, oil is doing its thing. Mexican peso. Continuing to wait for this. Why? Something seems off here. I don't have my time. Y'all see that? Is this the right contract? I think it is. That was weird, but whatever. All right, so peso's holding up really well in regards to the rejecting this CPI move. So we had Euro, CAD, we went over quite a few of them that could set up and for buys over here. But out of all of them, I actually think that the Mexican peso is the most likely to play out really, really well out of here. So let me add this to all of these setups that I haven't posted yet. I'm actually going to put it at the top of the list here. Peso. And then we got this here. Let's move this over. All right, I'm going to post this. Guys, drop your charts below today's setup. Yeah, today's setup's here. So drop yours in there. I'll also add my thoughts on indices as well. This one's going to be a bit more time sensitive. Also, so one thing that I brought up, if you guys didn't see it, so you get a you get a little fire emoji next to your username when you go on a 30-day streak of 10 activities or more within the school. Yeah. So it's comments, your own posts, things of that nature. And I think for the sake of just accountability, so you can get better at your skills, whether it's entries, exits, trade management, risk, journaling, backtesting, I think you all should do it. Go for the streak. 30 days in a row in here. So here we go. Yeah, let's see. Buy setup. Asia low. I don't really see this as a setup. There's an imbalance here. I definitely see that. I don't really see where or why to get in, though. Like, I don't really see the smart money move. I guess here we had a nice sell-off right there. And then it was real choppy. The imbalance I see. Yeah. And the fib. Why draw the fib from here? So I've a couple questions with this one, but I appreciate you sharing the chart nonetheless. Oh, here we go. Nora had it and called it out. G Tings. Nice. Hopefully some of you guys got there. Nora, Nora letting y'all know. Let's see, shorts. Did you take any here? Across the board. Where would you look to short? Yes. In this zone? And just because of imbalance? So you think that's enough to move the market? Oil paid. Dang, Paul, okay. I see you, son. That's a big short, too. Good stuff. Seth and Edwin on top of it. Let's see, USD CAD. This was good. That was nice. Yeah, good stuff, Sebastian. All right, thanks for the update, Nance. Potential oil short. Oh, you did mark this up. Does this trigger you in? New combine. Look at that. Boy, doing a new combine and funded. Shout out Edwin, bro. Good stuff, Edwin. Let's see. Bitcoin. Did he catch a sell or something? Sheesh. Savage. Caesar on it, man. 100 days till the end of 2025. Is that true? Starting tomorrow, the 23rd, till the 31st. That's exactly 100 days to finish 2025. I love the numbers, and every time I'm focused on these last days, I see big results, and I start the year off right. I love it. 100 days strong. From tomorrow till the end of, we have exactly 100 days. Oh, I didn't even see the transition there. Love it. Let's go. All right, cool. I'm just double checking if you guys have any charts in here. UJ, Rafa. Yeah, I see it. Definitely. Probably looking for something in here. It's a good, nice probability reversal. It's the same thing. This is the same as the yen futures sell that I'm looking for. Good stuff, Rafa. If you're on here, I don't actually know. All right. Taking a look back. Okay, so what do we have now? We're seeing interesting price action. So NASDAQ coming back here after it kind of created more liquidity where these London highs are for Dow. So the short out of here, I think still could stand. Could be worth shorting indices still. Look at how NASDAQ's pursuing the highs here. We'll see. Dang. Dow really doing that thing. Yeah, so let's see. Got the alert here. So I want to see what the market looks like once NASDAQ takes out highs. All right. Let's see. We got setups here. Sweep. Sí, me gusta. Me gusta, Alfredo. Buena gráfica. Válido. This takes us to some more of the crypto moves. So, for example, we're starting to see Bitcoin running up a little bit. ETH starting to make its move. Dog starting to rally. Setting up really nicely for the challenge, for sure. What does stocks look like right now? Let's see. Let's see what did stocks do this morning? All right. Somebody good, some not so good. Celsius, Etsy down. Okay, so a couple here. Who's up today? Into this Nintendo. GME. Oh, GME pumping. Okay. Tesla still running. Here's just some examples we were doing, I think, on Friday. Uber, Apple, blah, blah, blah. All right. Oh, ENPH pushing. Sweet. Okay, we're up on this one. Sweet. All right, cool. We got Weeble. Oh, you're starting to run earlier than I wanted you to. Okay, that's a good sign. So that's NASDAQ right now taking out liquidity over here. Starting to push beyond New York highs. We're seeing S&P also tackling on these Tokyo highs. And then where does that leave Dow? So in this way, Dow we saw take out these highs, come right back down. It's kind of been moving sideways as we're seeing NASDAQ clear liquidity. So this might be the short for NASDAQ, which is kind of a weird time. This isn't like a textbook setup, in my opinion, for typical like trades on Dow. Like, yes, we clear some of these highs, very short-lived when we trade up here, and then we come right back down. So yeah, as we're looking at this was the mitigation, which we got here now. We've seen this thing drop about 63 points after the pump up here was about 45. So mitigation looks good, makes sense. We're seeing, NASDAQ finally took out liquidity. Not that it can't go higher. It could go higher. And then we have S&P also kind of making liquidity here. So I feel like S&P is going to push further, take out, like, actually clear out Asian session liquidity here. So I feel like we're going to see this go a little bit further up. And that would drive, more than likely, we see probably NASDAQ go higher too. So not fully committed to shorting quite yet. I think we can go a little bit higher than this. Yeah, I think we can clear these areas. But now that we're seeing NASDAQ clear the highs, I do think we're getting just about ready for that short, though, for Dow. So if we want to use this as your stop for a short, understandable, especially now that it cleared liquidity, came right back down, the market, holding it down over here. We might see one more little push higher and then it drops. Or honestly, this thing just drops and doesn't want to do any of that. So one or the other. So if I'm going to take a swing at this, then stops are probably not too much. 30, 40 points on Dow shorts. All right, there goes NQ. NQ pushing up a little bit more. S&P here chopping up. Let's see. If we get another chance at a Dow short, let's say we pump up here one more time, then I'm down for the move. But this might have been our last chance right here. Because this was the break retest. This is, luring in buyers. This might have been it. This might be the move. Rip. There she goes. Anyone in a short already, by any chance? And then anyone just going to wait, kind of get different information. Maybe you don't like it. You're like, yeah, this is kind of a little bit foreign to me. I don't really trade like this. If that is you, then I also get it. If it's not like your typical signature setup, don't. I like to decipher just overall how the market's, building up and where it's creating liquidity and taking liquidity. So sometimes there's slightly unorthodox trades that I'm willing to be a part of, just because I understand the narrative of like how money is induced for buyers or for sellers. So I'm still open. I think we could see S&P push higher. I wonder, I'm just curious on what that looks like overall. Yeah, because I want to see S&P like really clear out these Asian session highs, whether it's trading up to here or up to here, and then seeing what that reversal would look like. All right. once this kind of gives me a bit more detail, after we kind of wrap up with indices, then I am going to be walking you guys through some like what I'm looking for with a for these stocks and cryptos challenge. I'm going to upload a video, but I want to give you guys a walkthrough as well. So I'll do that with you guys, and I'll show you kind of exactly what I'm looking to do here in a bit. So that way we can all be part of the challenge together here. So look, now we're starting to see, all right, S&P clear these areas successfully. We're noticing NASDAQ, right, trading up there. So now that we're seeing liquidity swept on Tokyo highs, we're seeing the same thing happen with NASDAQ as well. So I think we could see shorts out of Dow, like around kind of where we're at right now. Maybe it goes a little bit higher, but I think this is pulling in enough movement for a decent short on the market. So I'm open to selling right when the market with S&P kind of getting up to these areas over here. You see how we're like about to get into this imbalance with S&P? A little more. It's a little bit more. See, yeah, like right here, I think we're going to be like right into this zone. Like we just actually cleared this order block right there. So I think we could see shorts out of the market now around this area. I'm going to give myself a decent stop, about 40, 50 points. And then, yeah, look to take a position out of here. So I'm in shorts. All right. We saw NASDAQ take out liquidity. We saw S&P take out liquidity, play up into this order block. We might go a little bit more into this imbalance over here, but now that it's just basically trading up here, I'm open to ideas. And then I gave myself about a 40 point, 50 point stop. So basically looking at like here. If you want to be more patient and maybe it goes higher, cool. Or if you don't want to take this at all, don't. But I basically have something like this. And then I have this as the stop. And I'm basically trading the imbalance out of here from S&P, NASDAQ taking out London session liquidity, and this basically being a shakeout setup with an open stop. With not an open stop as if it's not there, like with this stop above this area. All right, so all right. Cool. All right, let's see. Let's see if my theory is right. If this ends up being just kind of building up buyers and then luring them in for this to sell off, or I could be wrong. And although we already took out liquidity for S&P and we've taken out liquidity for NASDAQ, if this doesn't want to happen, then that's cool by me as well. Worth the risk. For me, I'm not taking a full risk on this idea. I'm taking a little bit less risk. Just in case we want to go over to here, then we can. And then the other question is there a trade management wise, right? How do you go and manage something like this? So if the market comes back down for this and we get a nice little imbalance fill, then I'll move my stops to break even. And then for the sake of this trade, I'm looking to at least see us kind of fill imbalance, get up into this area. This would easily be a 2.5, if not a well over a 3R if we get up into this area, which obviously nothing is promised. So let's see if we're all on the same page. All right. So one of the things that I don't love about the market sometimes with correlated assets, despite us now seeing something like NASDAQ work its way down after everything, the way it's moved, Dow is not doing that. So we're not seeing Dow Jones go and make this move down the way that S&P did. So sometimes when these aren't fully correlated, it can kind of get a little bit annoying, but that's just when you're looking at the 1 minute. When you start to look at it overall, like 5 minute, etc., they do end up moving relatively similar eventually. It's just about them getting on the right page at some point in time. And so for the most part, though, these have been trading pretty nicely together. So I think overall they should continue to trade correlated for the rest of the session. It's usually the beginning of the session where they kind of get unhinged from one another, and then they make it back to each other later on in the session. All right. So sitting in this, either way, like risks are set in stone. Nothing here for me to change. Trade management wise, again, if we start to rebalance, then I'll just tighten up, reduce my risk, and then go from there. And just wait. All I can do at this point. If you wanted to have, like, let's say, respect the your structure that you have right now, yeah, I think having your stop above this or maybe up here makes sense. If it's just a fully 100% looking for like that shakeout setup, then yeah, just keeping it like right above. It's personal preference there. I was okay with kind of giving myself this type of breathing room in order to see the trade through, especially if this was going to take out liquidity like it looks like it's doing right now, and then make the move. Then I was cool with that. So yeah, let's see what this looks like. Let's see how this goes. Took that out. Okay. Now, and also remember we talked about how I was saying how S&P could want to fill some of this imbalance before it makes the reversal. So I wonder if that's kind of part of what we're seeing right now. The imbalance fill before the reversal. Whoa. All right, here we go. All right. Got that. All right, let's see if we start to lose some steam here. Looks like Dow, after clearing that and with S&P getting up into this imbalance, looks like it's losing some momentum. And Q, what are you doing? Not much. So here's the thing too, for me, either way, like let's say this is a loss. So for example, today so far during Asian session, gold was a loss. And then let's say Dow, let's just say this trade. And this is just how I think from beforehand. If I were to lose gold, which I already, which on that one lost, if this Dow sell also doesn't play out, then because of how I risk and because how I'm already mentally prepared, if we were to get up to here and, there's another, obviously this is where I would sell, I would still take it, even if I've already lost twice. Because the next entry for me would not be based on making it back. It's not based on, oh no, I can't stand to have a negative day or a day where I lost, whatever. That doesn't really matter to me. The fact of the matter is that this is a setup that was, one, already prepared since before there were any outcomes. And two, it's not like the outcomes of these trades are influencing the other trade. Because that's what you don't want. You don't want the outcome of a previous trade to influence your decision making for the next one, whether it's taking one or not taking one. So what I see a lot of traders do is that, they'll take a loss or two and then they're unmotivated, they're discouraged, they're disappointed, and then they're like, you know what, I'm just not going to take another trade. And in part, I understand. You're like, all right, cool, I don't want to lose so much, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to be revenge trading. Cool. But you're not revenge trading just because you take another trade. You're revenge trading because of why you take the trade. So if market, let's say this doesn't play out, right? And it goes all the way up to here. Yeah, I'm going to take that. Just because that's just the trade I would take. Doesn't matter what's happening. The market doesn't remember anything. The market's not like, oh, you lost? It doesn't care. We are irrelevant in the grand scheme of how these markets are moving right now. So for me, not a big deal whatsoever. But it's a lot easier to approach the market this way when I've already considered that these things could happen. These are not emotional reactions. They're not based off of any sort of scarcity thinking. And if you're risking properly, like, you're not really getting even anywhere close to being in danger anyways. So that's why just like approaching everything through preparation goes a long way. All right, so S&P is in this imbalance fill area where it could reverse if it wanted to. NASDAQ obviously has been clearing highs for a bit. So if it's going to work its way down, it'd probably do it now. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. And then we have the next key setup right around this zone. So let's see. Let's see what happens. See if we get the move. And then, again, I'm only looking to kind of take advantage of something just intraday. And same thing with kind of moving, when to move stops and things like that are going to be valuable because it's a decent chance that we might get, for example, let's say we get a reversal here. Since we already are approaching these New York highs, and you have, Dow that might want to take out these Tokyo highs and everything and get up to here. This type of sell, I wouldn't really look to take me too far anyways if we're going to get the trade. So we're already pretty close to getting stopped out over here like I had over here. It's either going to respect the structure up there. Here, I think actually I have mine up here, but it's either going to, do this or it's not. And it's just going to take the L. So here, it's like, 10 points out or something like that, maybe less. Yeah. Same thing with this one. Let's see, 6. What is it? 11. Yeah. So these are like basically about to take the L right now. Call it a day. All right, that's cool. So, like I said, looking for the opportunity over here now. This is now the final stop for me. So this one didn't play out here. So I wouldn't look to force this. Just wait it out. And honestly, it looks like we're going to end up seeing S&P clear New York highs. And I could have been more patient, considering that we had this area. I thought we could get a reaction, or we could have gotten the shakeout set up here. But basically, I was considering the reversal of out of this imbalance, kind of seeing the market work its way down. If your stop was open enough, maybe you still survive this. And, maybe you get lucky and this thing works its way back. But now, if I'm going to reapproach this, I wouldn't take it right now. I would just kind of wait for the market to get up to here. Unless we get like a huge dump and then the market completely gives us an entirely new scenario, then maybe. But other than that, like, there's really not a big focus point for me here. All right, let's see. Just double checking everything here. All right. Okay, so now what I want you guys to think about is how are you processing a loss? If you lost, maybe you didn't even take the trade anyways, and you're like, I'm just gonna wait. If it gets up here, I'll take that. If not, then not. So if that's the case, but let's say you did, how does this mess with your head? Are you gonna go and journal the trade that you just took? Are you going to slow down, or are you just going to start pressing buttons and you're like, oh, I can't stand losing. Oh my God, it hurts so much. And if that is the case, if like this really bothers you, then you got to look into that. Why does it matter so much? Why does the outcome of one trade out of the hundreds, the thousands, the tens of thousands that you'll take, why does that one have such an influence on everything? So keep that in mind. We're clearly seeing S&P still going to look to target these New York highs. So this thing is still running and gunning. NASDAQ, no chill. I'm sure crypto is starting to actually not too much. All right. So in the meantime, while all of that, just continues to move along, what I want to do is I want to walk you guys through, and I'm going to post a more, what's it called? Formal version of what I'm going to do here, but I want to walk you guys through the challenge, right, that we're going to be doing. So, for example, this challenge is going to be based on, and this is just an example, so let me just delete this before people just start doing things. But the challenge I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be recording kind of just the scenarios, but what was it? Is that it? Yeah, okay. So basically, I'm going to have two different accounts running, starting at 1,000 each. And basically, there's going to be one for stocks, and then I'm going to have one for crypto. I'll give you guys access to, so you can just make a copy of this thing. And so you can track all your stuff. But basically, yeah, just going to be starting with one. I'll give you guys my entry zones and all that good stuff. And then the date and time, what it is, what the asset class is, the entry, the exit, the balance, all that good stuff. And then, we're just going to flip them. So, for example, today, let's say we chose dog, right? And we took this entry at, let's just say, 0021. So I just give you, let's just say, for example, guys, our entry points are anywhere from this area to this area. This is actually like a 5% zone, I think, give or take. So let's just say something like this. Anyone here, valid, and then, we take this to wherever. That would be the overall idea on this kind of opportunity. And then we would fill it in, you would go and take this at the exchanges that are available. So you could do this, for example, on Kraken, on Xverse, on wherever. Now, of course, in a perfect world, we could do all of this in one exchange, but that's not the case. It's not really possible. So I can't do that. And then, let's see. All right. We're gonna be able to short this during this stream too. We're gonna have a third trade. We're either gonna take. So I'm gonna look to take it like right here, and then the stop's looking closer to a 50-point stop. 51. Boom. All right. So alerts set here. Once we start to get a little bit closer, I'll actually have like 2 alerts. We'll have the warning sign, and then the one where it's in the zone. Okay. And with this one, I'm going to have a limit set because I don't need, like, everything is already basically in place. So this one just has to get there. So my entry is looking like 46,687. Actually, I'll make it at 46,685. Yeah, right there. All right. So I'm just going to get my trade set so I can just walk you guys through stuff and not have to worry about it. All right. 46,685. S&P taking out New York highs. Perfect. And then we're looking at, all right, limit. All right, beautiful. Set in stone over here. All set there. There you go. All right, so that's good. Then we got here. Gotta set this one up. Okay. All right, I'm ready to roll. That's all set there. So we just I need like 40 more points, 40, 45 points, give or take. And then that's good to roll. That's good to go. All right. So when I'm looking at, so yeah, going back to this idea, I was in between. So between stocks, I'm in between either giving the entry with Webull. Now, if it is going to be Webull, we have, for example, hold on. Where is this thing? All right. So here was the first rejection. And then here was the second, which gave almost equal lows here. So if we're going to get another entry, I kind of want us to get a little bit back down to 13.5 or under if Webull is going to be the first one. But I want to give everyone just a unified, like I want there just to be one clear entry that we take. Snap is still pumping even more, actually. Opened up even higher. So this was what I was saying for if you guys wanted to take an intraday exit on Snapchat, I was looking for this one here. Right into the imbalance. Nice. So let's see if we work our way back below 8 again. Now Lululemon. I'm going to save this one in case we do work our way back down. So not going to execute that either. Lucid here as well. I wanted to see if we work our way lower before we take another push. We haven't quite gotten that here. And so the one that really makes sense for a move is looking like it could be Weeble. So I want to give you guys, I wanted to see how the market's open today and to see where we're at. So instead of starting things off with stocks today, I think we're going to start with the crypto one today. And stocks, we might wait for another couple days. And that's part of investing. It's like not just throwing money at things because you're bored or because you want to do something. It's just waiting for the market to come to you, just like we're doing so with Dow over here. So Dow, same thing. This trade, I'm down to run this one up. I think we can get a nice move. First exits would be to kind of play it back into where we had some resistance over here. A little 2R would be nice. And then depending on that, we left London lows over here. Doesn't mean we need to go take them out now, but we also could go for a lot of this imbalance that the market's left behind. So first exit, though, would be right here where we had those London highs. Kind of the imbalanced structure point. Could get a nice little reversal there. And then, yeah, so regarding crypto in general, I have a few options. So if we wanted to go and start the challenge off with crypto, especially the ones that have taken the biggest hit today, like Ski Mask, we can go over here. If you ever have a question on, where do I get this crypto? Just look it up. And then you'll see under markets, you'll see where they're available. So for example, someone like this, you can get this on the base app. You could swap it on Uniswap. You can do it on, these are just like decentralized, these are exchanges. So I think if you're in the centralized exchange, if you're in the US, I don't think you can technically get an account at MEXC. You'd have to use a VPN and do all that stuff, which is just a pain. But you can just get the base app, BASE, and then swap on there. But I think this is going to be the first one that I'm going to call for the crypto side of stuff, because this one just can bounce so quick and give us just a quick, real quick 30, 35%, even more. So that's what I have lined up. I'm going to make a separate video on this one because I want to make sure you guys know how to get your, just know the rules of engagement with something like this. I'm just showing you what I'm going to do. You guys can do whatever you want. And then this could take a few days. Sometimes it takes less. It just depends. With how I think we're going to see crypto go, I think we're going to start to get really accelerated soon. So, yeah. Regarding indices and selling, we're like really close, really close. 20, 25 points away from entry here. S&P has now taken New York highs. NASDAQ here, well above as well. Solid. Everything's lined up now. So, final trade. Yeah, basically, I think this would be my final trade of the day. I don't really have much else that is pretty much close other than this this idea here. So stay on the lookout, guys. I'm going to make, I want to get this all set up. I'm going to give you guys the step-by-step process with how the challenge works in a more like formal, structured format. So crypto tracker and ROI compound calculator. So yeah, stay tuned. Be on the lookout for this idea here. I can't tell if this got to the zone or not. So let's see. Because if this plays right out of the open, I want to make sure. Nah. The low here was 46,672. Okay. And then this tagged 46,672. Okay, let's see. So for example, this thing pumped 66 points. If this were to just like bleed out and dump from here, then I would consider it a mitigation if it does that. If it doesn't and it comes back up, then we're still game. So we'll see. But yeah, if this thing just starts to like fill all of this imbalance, then it played right at it, literally the open, and then it is what it is. And that could be the case. All right, so let's see if it is going to just play out of here, go one more level higher, and then drop. Otherwise, that's all she wrote. I've ignored the chat. My bad, guys. Stopped out. Would you focus more on the very last sweep on yesterday that you can see on the 1 minute, or the bigger zone you marked up? I have the bigger zone. You could focus on that one over here. So for example, if you're over here, if you're on the 1 minute and you see just this like for example, right there, right? You see like one extra push. Yeah, you could definitely take it here instead. Like that's another option because you do see an extra little pump right there before it drops. So if you wanted to have your entry there, be my guest. I could definitely see that happen. I'm okay with getting in a little bit, just a little under, because it doesn't always do that. But we've had a resistance here before. It's just kind of like a decent place. But yeah, if you wanted to take an entry in that last 1 minute move you see, run it. Do you want to sell because you didn't catch the buy? Nah, definitely not. Or I don't know if you were saying that to the chat in general. But exactly, like I don't want to catch a sell just because I didn't miss the buy, because I didn't catch the buy. But that's exactly how you want to think about these things. YM sell. Yeah, just about. So did we go all in with our initial capital each time in one stock? That's what I am doing. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So that's the point. The challenge for me is that it's like all in each time. And because remember, the whole thing is like, for me, this isn't this is disposable income. It's like for the sake of doing something cool and fun, flip from some stocks and cryptos. It'll be fun. This is like what I'm doing. This is not like, hey, here's how to build a portfolio. Low risk. This is for sure high risk. This is entirely based around high risk, leveraging skill set, patience, timing, and then of course there'll be things in place so that we start to take out the principal once we have the ball rolling. Mm-hmm. So I want to do a bit more of a take on which of these I want to do first. If it's going to be dog, is it going to be ski mask? Is it going to be something else? And then I'll let you guys know here within the next, probably the next like hour or so. But yeah, I'll drop it in the school. If you're not in the school and you want to be, then just go ahead and scan this here. On the left is our free community. On the right, we have for the syndicate. The syndicate is just for advanced traders, people that are wanting to really get they want to master here their psychology, their systems. It's for people that really want to make this a career path. On the left is the free community open to everybody, and you guys can do the, we'll be sharing all the ideas and all that good stuff in there. Did I get triggered in or just now? Hold up. I think I'm about to get triggered in. It's not, it didn't open me. Interesting. So you have that there. All right. Otherwise, I'll give you guys a link to the free community and the link to join our private sessions if you want to be in the 1%. All right, let's see. Let me get y'all in there. We just cracked 2,000 members. Guys, you know what? I've been meaning to say this. I'm going to say this on the live stream since we're here together anyways. Here we go. That's free community. And then that 1 minute that you guys had marked up looks like it's in that area right there. So if you wanted to take that little Selski. Let's see here. It's been a while since I went 0 for 3 in a day. Let's see. See if that's going to be. I have about 40 more points of a stop. Yeah. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. What I wanted to tell you guys. Especially if we have, this is specifically in celebration of Nance and I being officially married today, and here we go, because wedding's in about 11 days. So for everybody that is, and this is a very exclusive deal that we're doing, but to celebrate just like working together on so many things, like Nance and I do a lot of projects together, because we're building our future, and for everything that's in front of us, generations that are yet to come. But being in alignment with your partner is everything. Like it's the ultimate amplifier in my opinion. And when you have either support or where you're working on a skill set together, like everything is just, it runs so much easier. And so for all of the couples that are either married or like you're living together, you've been together for a long time, we are offering the option to join the syndicate as a 2-for-1 deal. So, if you and your partner trade, or, you guys are doing stuff like that, then yeah, you both get to do it together for the price of one. So we're going to be doing that here. That offer is going to be available for the next 5 couples that join, and then we'll have that available to you guys for the next 2 weeks. So, this is just like our way of like we just built this whole thing together anyways. We've been doing all of this. Like, I'm not the trader I am without Nance, and she's not, same thing like without me. So everything that we do in Tradetopia here is a collective effort. So between just all the ideas, the designs, the work, like everything that comes into it, the retreats, the merch, like it's a collective effort. And obviously with the help of a couple other people as well. But yeah, to give it back, we wanted to offer that opportunity to everybody that's in a committed relationship, and to be around other people that are also like that. We have a handful of couples that are doing this together. So to celebrate the love, I wanted to open that up to you guys. So, if that is for you, then I would encourage it. I think it's just different when you're doing stuff like this together, in my opinion. So if you guys want to be part of that, I just dropped the link so you guys can go and book your call. Only going to take the next 5 for the sake of actually being able to work with you guys way more hands-on, and keep it that way. So yeah, that's just a little update for you guys. We'll do a formal, kind of announcement and everything like that for y'all too. So now, been here for a little bit, we've seen a nice little drop out of the zone. So I think mitigation would be like somewhere around here. So as of now, we're getting a decent reversal and a little bit of profit, nothing too crazy quite yet. And then I will be moving my stop and reducing my risk to here if we keep dropping. So once the market, based on how it's moved so far, if it keeps dropping towards 46,645-ish, so we just keep moving down into here, then I'll move my stop. And then from there, we have another one. And then just for the sake of transparency as well, I'll go ahead and see if I can move this over. Can I move this over? I don't think I can. No, I don't think I can do that. Anyways, I'm in there. I'm in there with you guys across the across the accounts. So cool. While this thing rolls, I'm going to go ahead and get you guys ready to go for the challenge, the stocks and or the crypto challenge. I know the crypto one for sure will start today. The stocks one may not start today. It just kind of depends on what's going on with the market. So it's not fully in my control. But yeah, good stuff, guys. Good session. Go ahead and book your calls if you are a couple and you're committed and you want to do this together. 2-for-1 deal. So enjoy, guys. I'll see you in the school. I'm going to be active in there for the next couple hours. So I'll see y'all in there. Peace out, guys.